Yo, it's Jacob Perry back with you, founder and CEO of Patagonia Bee Products. On this vlog that I've been doing now for a while. This is episode 29, and what we do here is talk about honey, beekeeping, and basically how we're doing business as a small business, bringing in artisanal honey varieties from Patagonia. So today I want to talk about the uses of honey. I do demos all the time. That's really the best way to engage consumers, right, and potential customers. And I hear lots of feedback, and a very common piece of feedback I get is, well, gosh, I love these honeys. These are unlike anything I've had. I mean, I'll buy it, but I don't know how to use honey. I just don't use honey. I like the idea of honey, but I don't know what to do with it. So I wanted to make a video. I thought, well, why not make a video and tell people about it? I do this at all my demos. I'll start giving them ideas, but why not make a video people can access and then have some ideas. So, I mean, this is pretty just informal conversation, but I want to throw out some ideas, stuff that people have, these are ideas that people have shared with me that I have come up with, read about, or just had a sweet tooth and was looking for something. Everybody that does use honey, almost everybody, right, they're using it in tea and coffee. That's the main thing. Almost everybody says, oh, yeah, tea and coffee, definitely, that's the one thing I do with honey. Beyond that, there's lots of uses, though. So I do want to make a note that tea and coffee, if you haven't had it with honey, it does change the flavor a little bit. It takes a little getting used to. When I first started trying this years ago, that took a little getting used to. But then you start to appreciate that honey. I mean, the flavor that tastes like honey. And then if you're using our honeys, which already have very unique floral, sometimes intense flavors, right, earthy, that even adds an extra layer of complexity to the flavor. So that's kind of cool in the tea and coffee. My favorite tea to have it with is Earl Grey, but I think that's because my favorite tea is Earl Grey. And then I'll do coffee, usually with a little cream, because I'm not much of a purist with coffee. But some other things to do with the honey. I personally will use the honey oftentimes to satisfy my sweet tooth. So if I'm trying to avoid, or if I don't have, I try not to keep sweets in the house because I'll tear them up. But one thing I'll do is just a little bit of honey. If I'm getting a little sweet tooth, I'll sneak in there and get like a half a spoon of honey. And that really helps. Or I'll put it in a tea or a coffee. A friend of mine turned me on to walnuts with the Ulmo honey. So an amazing snack. That really helps to satisfy sweet tooth, a little craving, because walnuts are healthy. They got a little meat to them, right? A little filling. So you dip those in there and go to town. That's delicious. I will cook fish and glaze the honey on top and then put cayenne pepper. Keep it real simple. It's delicious. It works with chicken. You can really do it with any meat. Just as a glaze. You can bake it. I put it on at the end so that the honey's not getting cooked. And it's still just kind of, with our honey, it's so thick, you kind of spread it on like a paste or a butter. And it starts to kind of melt a little bit, and then it's delicious. It adds some floral complexity to it. People will use our honey. I will do it in oatmeal. Put our honey in oatmeal. If you're adding some fruit to it, blueberries, some flax seeds, chia seeds, whatever. And then some honey if you want a little sweetness. That's real good. Put it on top of yogurt, granola. These are some uses for it. It gets as creative as you want it to. Honey is a sweetener, right? It can be a sugar replacement. So whatever it is you normally use sugar with, you can try with honey. It goes really well with pineapple. This is what I do at a lot of my samplings. Those of you who've been to one might have had it with pineapple. It's actually a wonderfully smooth combination because the acidity of the pineapple will cut the sweetness of the honey, and the honey will also cut the acidity of the pineapple. So they both really turn into this smooth combination. People are fascinated by it. My beekeepers told me about that one. I didn't think I was going to like it, and I tried it with an open mind. Said, all right, I'll give it a shot. And now it's one of my favorite snacks. I love it. Surprisingly, it's good with tomatoes. It's good with strawberries as well, is what I was thinking of. But tomatoes and strawberries, both of them go really well together. And cheese, that's the one I missed. That's a big one. Our honeys pair so well with cheese. A lot of people have already been turned on to this, honey and cheese. And it kind of depends on the cheese you use, right? Some of my favorites are Manchego, smoked Gouda, which I had for the first time with my honey recently. It was delicious. Brie, love Brie. Blue cheese, I'm a big blue cheese fan. A lot of people aren't. A lot of people are. It's one of those that you're kind of like, you either hate it or you love it, right? But I love blue cheese with it. I even do just like cheddar, sharp cheddar, smoked cheddar, but I love cheese and honey. and that's a good way to get a little salty, sometimes a little like pungent, and then with the sweetness of the honey. And my favorite honey for cheese is our Tineo honey. That's the one with our orange label, and it's our most powerful, complex flavor. It's a very bold, kind of pungent flavor for honey, and I think it pairs well with cheese. I just love it. Beyond that, you of course have toast. Put it on bread with a little butter. Put it on sour apple. That's a really good combination. Sour apple, cheese and a cracker, and some of the honey on top. Oh, it's amazing. And beyond that, you can get creative as you want. And these are some of the uses that I've tried, that people have shared with me, and that are really, really fun. And of course, I will just have a teaspoon here and there, just as it is. Especially if we're in the season for colds and flu and all of that, and I try to gargle it a little bit, and then of course swallow it without water or anything, and just let it really coat my throat. Honey's been shown to be incredibly good for the throat, and also effective as an antibacterial agent, especially our Umo honey, which tested higher than Manuka, as many of you have heard. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Those are lots of ideas, and I would love to hear feedback and other ideas, so feel free to share them. I'm always learning about new combinations and pairings. So make sure you're following our Facebook and YouTube channel to hear these videos every week, and please engage. I love hearing from you guys. So we'll catch you next time. Peace.